Hello there, all you bass players and future bass players. We're going to do a little basic bass. So here we have our bass, 4-string bass as opposed to 5 or 6-string. The strings are tuned just like an octave below a guitar. Now, we won't go into tuning too much, but I'll just tell you what the notes are. So the lowest string is an E, and we have an A, a D, and a G. Now, as a bass player, it's really important that you know the notes, because people will be saying things like, I'm playing a G chord, or I'm playing a D chord. So you have to know where a G and a D are. So we're going to talk about note location first, okay? So you'll notice here, try to get a little closer so you can see, we have these fret markings. Most of the basses do. They're on the front and they're on the side as well. So you have one at the 3rd fret, that's what this dot. This dot represents this fret. This dot represents this fret. This dot represents this. So that's the 3rd, the 5th, the 7th. And the next one is the 9th, and this double one is the 12th. We're just going to talk about the 3rd, the 5th, and the 7th today. So if we start on the bass string, that's this guy. That's an E, okay? Open. Then if we go to the 3rd fret, we get a G. We go to the 5th fret, we get an A. We go to the 7th fret, we get a B. So gab, G-A-B, or backwards bag, B-A-G. Okay, now on the next string, we have a C, a D, and an E. Okay, C, D, E. So if you know the musical alphabet, which you may or may not know, but the musical alphabet goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then starts over again. So if you start on this fret, that's a G. Then you start over to A, B, then next string, C, D, E, and then you can just keep going to the next string, F, G, and then A. So these dots will take you right through the musical alphabet. Okay, you might be wondering, well, what's down here? Well, again, this is an open E string. The 1st fret is an F note. And then this is an F sharp. This is a G. It's important that you understand what's called the chromatic scale, which I will do for you once on the A string, because you can figure out all the notes if you know that scale. I don't have a graphic for you, so I'm sorry about that. But if we start, I'm going to back up here. We're going to start on the A string, which is this string. And I'm going to take you through what's called the chromatic scale, which is all 12 notes that you'll ever need to use. So open is A. That's the string open. 1st fret, A sharp, also called B flat. This 2nd fret is B. 3rd fret is C. 4th fret, C sharp, or D flat. D is the 5th fret. 6th fret is D sharp or E flat. Okay, you with me so far? And then 7th fret is E. 8th fret is F. There's nothing between E and F. No E sharp. Well, the E sharp is the same as F. So the 9th fret is F sharp. 10th fret is G. 11th fret is G sharp. 12th fret is back to A. Okay, so we've gone through all the notes. So let's talk about this hand. You can play with a pick. If you play with a pick, the important thing to know is hold the pick so that it's on the side of a finger with its bone. Don't hold it like this between the thumb and the finger because it's just mush and you don't get any support. The pick will move around on you. If you put it on the side of a finger and then put your thumb on top of it, the thumb is what does the controlling. The finger is just a place for it to rest. And you pick the string. If you can see the angle I've got here. See how I'm coming in at an angle? I'm not hitting it like this. I'm hitting it like that. Okay? If we're going to use our fingers, what you want to do is most people use one of these two or both of them. And you take the finger and you put it on the string and then bring it off like that. My amp's a little noisy today, excuse me for that. Here's the D string, same thing. Get a little closer so you can see. See what happens? My finger comes off and rests on the very next string. You can also use your thumb. Okay? So if somebody's playing a song and they say, it's a G chord, you find your G note, which is here. And then the other thing you need to do is develop what they call rhythms or feels. So we'll talk about two basic feels today. One is sort of the country feel. If we're going boom, checka boom, you'd be a D. If we're going boom, so that would be, oh baby, okay. What most bass players do when they're playing sort of a country tune is they go from the root to what's called the fifth, which I don't expect you to understand yet, but I would go G to D. So you get this kind of sound. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that would be for G, and C would be. Okay, so there's a basic country feel for you. And that was in G. So a basic rock feel, there's a bunch of them. So I guess I shouldn't say a basic one. Again, sticking with the G note, here's a real simple one. Just goes 1, 2, and 3. Let me show you what's going on down here. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's all with one finger, or we can do it with two. C. Okay? So that'll give you some ideas to get going. And like I said, it's important to get to know those notes. And then we'll talk later about scales and other fun stuff. Okay? Bye.